All right, I believe we should be live and ready to go with Horsepital. So I am isBullets. I will be running this wonderful, strange goat simulator meets, I don't know, some other, insert whatever other horse games you know of here. I don't really know how to describe it. It's kind of one of some things you just have to experience, I guess. So we'll just go in immediately with this in 3, 2, 1, go. The plot of this game is that you are a horse named Hazel, very surprising, I'm sure. And you have a horse buddy that is named Buddy that is stuck in the hospital that you need to save. And immediately we're just gonna go and swallow this walkie-talkie, which allows us to communicate with them. The fastest way of moving in this game is to do this weird trotting gallop where you crouch and uncrouch, because this game is meant to be a stealth game where you sneak around these doctors that are for some reason armed with pitchforks, and you try to avoid them and not get in fights, because if you get in a fight with a couple of them, you're just dead. You do not have a lot of health. You're not a very sturdy horse. So we're just gonna be going through. This game is separated into 3 different worlds, areas, stuff like that. So we'll be going through those. Feel free to guess what wonderful things you think we'll be going to. You might actually be surprised. You might be able to guess on them. This guard's just gonna run straight into the banana peel. You're supposed to like lure them into the banana peels, but you can just walk towards them and just have them run into it for you. Instead of trying to be stealthy and manipulative, you can just apply banana peel to face repeatedly until problem is gone. So we are here. This is Toilet Jimbo. Instead of talking with him, we're just gonna restart. He's gonna disappear. But we'll be talking with them in a second. Each one of these worlds has a flashback sequence. Guessing the flashback sequence for this is probably impossible for everybody, but you can feel free to give it a try if you want to. It's a little out there. It's kind of crazy. So we're gonna give him his teeth, and he's gonna give us some rare candy, and that is going to cause us to have our eyes inflate, and we're going to have a flashback to Vietnam, because Horsepital makes 0 sense whatsoever and is a beautiful game. There's also a small child here, which, you know, as you'd expect. And she wants to show our friend a magic trick. Instead, we're gonna do our own magic trick. We're just gonna go back here. And if you slip back here, you can just knock her off the box. And now she's just on the ground doing her idle animation. So we'll be back to her in a second. We have to go across here. You're supposed to wait at the barricades and dodge the incoming fire, but you can just go fast, it's fine. We're supposed to grab him with our tongue, which is how you hold things in this game. You grab with your tongue and... Oh, okay, never mind, he's stuck, so we're gonna do that. Oh, he's really stuck. Okay, never mind, we fixed it. We fixed it by doing the exact same thing and something different happening. Alright, so here's Frida. She's still on the ground, but it still zooms in on where she used to be. To do our magic trick, we have to give her this grenade, so we're gonna chuck that towards her. And we're actually gonna make her reappear. Amazing magic trick. Good stuff. Very well done. Alright, so flashback's done. Everything's back to normal. Kind of. Close enough. So we are back in the hospital, and this is when all the fun glitches and speed strats get to start happening now we've gone through the wonderful opening for this. So there's just cameras in front of us, and if we go towards those cameras, it'll actually block the exit door. So instead of doing that, you're supposed to hit this switch, which lets you get in the security room and break the security box that's controlling them. Instead, you can wiggle your way into this corner. Sometimes it takes a little bit for Hazel to walk in a straight line. There you go. And if you do a twirl or two, and Hazel... There you go. If Hazel does what Hazel needs to do, we can get out of bounds. And when you're out of bounds, your back legs especially don't really know what to do. So they just start tucking inside of your body. It's kind of weird. But if you get near enough to the elevator right here, you can just get inside of it by being nearish by. And we're gonna do something very similar for this level, except instead of clipping with one of the hospital beds, we're going to use an NPC that's over here. Well, we're gonna have to do it quickly because people are gonna chase after us. So we're either gonna get this quickly or die. Oh, never mind, we did it. Okay. Marathon luck has saved us again. In the same way, we're gonna get roughly close to the elevator and stick our head inside of it, and that's good enough for the game. At the beginning of this level, we actually have to restart it because during the little dialogue that's at the beginning, where all the fun plot things are happening, the enemies are still moving around, so when you restart, the cycles are a little bit different. That guy's actually supposed to notice that the other doctor fell over and try to save him, but I guess he's just ignoring him this time for whatever reason, so we'll just give this old lady her teeth so she gives us the key card to get out of here. And that is going to... Actually, for some reason we moved during this cutscene because of the angle of the key card. It just starts pushing us into that corner. Strange things. Just like the last level, we're going to restart because the camera cycle that's right here stops us from going too fast. When the camera goes off, it also attracts all the guards towards wherever the camera alarm is going off, so you have to be really careful with that. Because it kind of manipulates the guards in a way you really don't want them to. This level is pretty tight just because you have to beat this last camera here, this one right next to us on the left, and get into the elevator. If you don't, it just blocks you from getting out of the elevator, or getting into the elevator and you have to wait for like 15 seconds in a bush. Because they can't see you once you're in the bush. This is Buddy. We're gonna save him, but unfortunately this person pitchforks roughly in our direction. That is enough to knock us out. For a little bit at least, but we're fine. Battle up and keep going. We're going to the next section, which is the basement, which is not the correct name for this. This should be called, like, dungeons or something, because for some reason this hospital is built on top of some strange cult dungeon thing that's happening. So immediately some strange things will be happening, especially if you look to the left. There's a weird ceremony with a mask happening, but we're gonna do this trick right here that saves no time at all. It doesn't lose time, but it doesn't save time, but it looks cool, so it's worth doing. And I've done it pretty much every single run, so at this point my muscle memory is just to go into the cap machine and just clip myself into it, so alright. Most of the puzzles in this section are going to be grab torch, light things that are lit, like lightable on fire, don't get caught by the spooky doctor things that are down here, the strange creatures. The cycle for this guy is kinda random, and he's never been there before because, again, marathon luck. Marathon luck was really good before, and now it's doing some very interesting things. Either way, we have to light this and get through here. If you have any donations you want to read, it's probably a good time, or any announcements you want to make.
I just wanted to make a quick announcement on how you can support the stream. So obviously donations is the big one. We're getting close to 6K at the moment, which is an amazing amount. We're also you can also support ESA through subbing to the channel. So every time you use a sub, or if you gift a sub, or if you use your Twitch Prime to sub, did you know Twitch Prime is a thing? I think it's quite new. Then that will obviously not just support the channel, but our sponsor, HyperX, will match that donation effectively with an extra $2.50 for every single sub we receive during the marathon period. So we're just over halfway there at the moment, because they'll do it for the first 800 subs. So yeah, it's a great way to kind of help support the stream and increase that gift donation from HyperX.
A lot of tragic things happened while you were reading that out. I got stuck in a corner that I wasn't supposed to get stuck in, and I grabbed the box instead of the key because there's a box right on top of this key you're supposed to grab. And there's a really good chance that Hazel decides she really likes boxes and just grabs that one instead of grabbing the correct, actually useful object. And a lot of tragic things happened. It was really sad. And now we're out of the level. Everything's fine now. So we're heading on our way down through here. So the next level, Toilet Jimbo's back. He's got more rare candy for us, so we are going to saunter on over there after we do lots of very dangerous obstacles that have all been set up. So we're gonna light this on fire and then grab a key out of here. Continue on our way. Bring this torch with us for later. Just drop this gently here. The torch can just sometimes decide to roll and just fall straight into the pit, and they have to go back and get it, and it's really sad. One thing I've not talked about is when you are running around and you see all these gaps that are everywhere. These gaps are actually like the most dangerous thing in St. Hazel's Horsepital, because if a single part of Hazel's hoof decides to fall, like go over an edge or something, or like go over a gap, like a small inconsequential gap. The entirety of Hazel's body loses collision with the ground and just everything. So if you go anywhere near any of these pits, you will just fall through and just die a horrible death. And it's very easy to fall through one of those trapdoors or fall off the side there and then just have to redo the entire thing. Especially bad one. This is one of the longer ones. All right, so Toilet Jumbo's back here. We're gonna have another wonderful flashback. During this flashback, Hazel's gonna go to space because this game has already not been wild enough. You know, my theory is that Hazel's not a horse. Hazel's an alien, which explains the ping pong eyes. They're just a strange horse-like alien species. I don't know what Frida is. Frida's just a small child that for some reason. None of this game makes sense. It's great. It's beautiful. Good times. But yeah, so after this short flashback, we'll be going back through the dungeon area. A witch cult, in case you were wondering. So we'll be going through here after Hazel fails to go down another staircase because Hazel was never taught how to operate such complicated machinery. So we are going to go over here and get these 3 ancient artifacts. One of them is a toy car. The other one over here is random glowing gear we found. Don't ask why we can go through walls. I actually don't know that either. Also don't ask why Hazel's arm just broke for like half a second there. Hazel's, or legs, whatever. Hazel's legs have a tendency to kind of sometimes just go the wrong direction every once in a while. Just to keep you honest, keep you interested, keep you paying attention. So because we've combined all these things, we're able to mind control that guy that's over there. And you might have noticed if you looked really closely that Hazel's head became their head for a second. If you didn't notice that, you'll see it here for a second. Also, the intermission video that played before, Street Boys, if you watch that, this will be very familiar to you. We will not be breaking the camera so that it rotates on the wrong axis this time. As much fun as that would be, I don't think I can finish the level once I do that, because it's basically impossible to see where anything is. So instead, we're going to give this guy a muffin and walk across here. When you're mind controlling people, gravity has no bearing upon you, so you can just walk across gaps if you want to. You can just ignore it. Act like it's not there. Keep going across. We'll be doing some more mind controlling puzzles later on, once we get into the final area, which is a lovely area that we will get to once we get done with this final level right here. So we've unfortunately unearthed Scary Terry, which is the frightening glowing head thing that is chasing after us now. So the doctor that we were just mind controlling, we are going to help break. I don't know how he got in prison there. I don't know why he's like stuck here, because he was just free like a second ago, but you know, all right. We'll just give him this thing so he can get out of here. And now we just light some things on fire like usual, and then we are good to go. There's also just a copy of him there that's in a coffin, which is kind of ominous. I don't know why, but either way. So light these things on fire, we're good to go. Scary Terry, it only lasts for this one level. Like, you only have to fight him for this level, and now he's just gone. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. All right, so this time we definitely saved Buddy. Don't mind the timer and the fact that we have a lot more game. Oh no, we were stabbed again by another pitchfork. Hey, it's Frida, the small creepy child from before, from the flashbacks times. So that's us free. We need to go to the final part of this game, which is of course a glue factory, because what else would it be? What else? I mean, it's a horse game, you guys were expecting it. Everything says glue on it as well, in case you forgot. So we've got this suspicious horse that's here, and you will never guess what's gonna happen when we get to this suspicious horse. Obviously, Hazel's gonna break through this random wall right next to it, and we're gonna continue going. So yeah, this is the glue factory. This is where all runs go to die. All wonderful things happen. In this room right here, you can grab one of these boxes as it goes into the, I don't even know what you call those, chutes on the side, and it'll actually keep flinging itself towards you repeatedly and just hitting Hazel over and over again. until Hazel, for some reason, it happens so much that Hazel's movement gets broken. She can only walk at that point. It's really weird. I have no clue why it breaks your movement. But either way, so we're on this second level of the glue factory, and there is a kind of spooky skip here where you have this hallway that has flamethrowers on both sides, and you're meant to turn off both the flamethrowers because if you try to go through, flamethrowers are dangerous, as well as this guy because I did not hit him with banana peel. So we're actually gonna restart. So unfortunately, he saw the banana peel I was holding and just ignored it and just punched me a lot, and that was not very nice of him to do. We'll give it another go. But your health is really important because what we're going to do here is instead of going through the level normally and turning off both the levers, we're just going to flip this lever right here, get our health at full, and then we're going to hug this left side. And sometimes during this cutscene, your health will continue to keep ticking down, so you'll end up with pretty much 0 health by the end of it. So it can be very scary. But we're gonna save our friend, and he's gonna thank us by allowing us to mind control him for the rest of the game. But first we have to give him the somewhat ominous collar thing that you need to wear to be mind controlled. The game's great. So we're just gonna sneak on by here and grab a chair. But then after we grab we're gonna grab the chair again. But after we grab the chair twice, we're going to grab the headset collar thing. Thankfully these guys got blocked by those chairs for some reason and didn't come here and beat me up. If they fight you during the cutscene, they can't kill you during it, so it's kind of okay, but you also just don't want them to do that because it's kind of rude. So now we can mind control and we can just press all these levers and it kind of fixes all these issues here. So we have to do a very complicated puzzle here. We just flip a couple levers and the door opens. There's some little glowing lights on the side that tell you which ones to flick. Okay. You can technically like set these guys on fire, but it's kind of rude, so we're not going to do that. We'll let them live. It's fine, they didn't do anything wrong. This is the final level that has Toilet Jimbo, so we're gonna go help him out. But first we need to get this guy out of the way. He will just kind of keep bugging you if you don't knock him out. You can do a little bit of a time save here by grabbing this box right as it's about to go past there, and instead of waiting for it to go all the way over the conveyor belt, instead you can get it a little bit quicker. It's a small thing, but when you don't get it, it's kind of sad you have to ground. I don't know why the hitbox for that keycard is so huge that it blocks you every time you try to go through that doorway. Alright, cool. So we're gonna grab that keycard that we brought over. There's actually a soft lock you can do here pretty easily because I will not do it, but I will show what you could do. Is you can actually grab this, you can mind control yourself while mind controlled, because you can interact with this here, and you end up just making it where Hazel cannot move anymore. It confuses the game, and just, you can no longer control the main character anymore, so you're just kind of stuck. And you can't mind control anymore, so you just can't do anything. You just have to restart the level. So instead, we're gonna move these boxes of rare candy over to here. I'm gonna do a magic trick real quick. All right, you guys see Hazel's right here on the table? Gone. Amazing. Right there. Disappearing eye. I think it's the second one we did this before. So, final flashback. This one is less crazy than the other ones, but still managed to be low-key kind of weird and strange, just like a lot of the game, but that's okay. So Frida's gonna go get this apple for Buddy, but instead Hazel's gonna come to the rescue and just clip straight into the tree. And now Frida's unfortunately T-posing. Very creepy animated movement upwards right off for the apple. I don't know what the tongue thing that's happening there. It's some strange stuff. Good times. Alright, we're on the final section of the glue factory. We have like probably the hardest skip now, because it involves physics and Unity, which, oh my goodness, it's good times. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to launch this box into this grinder, and I'll explain once I can get it, or I'll explain it while I have to retry it. We'll see. There we go, first try, easiest skip ever. So what we're trying to do here during this level is we're supposed to grab one of the boxes from on the other side of the stage, bring it into here, and have it go all the way through the conveyor belt. And once it goes through the conveyor belt, it becomes a plank. Then you have to put the plank all the way through the conveyor belt and have it go through the grinder, and it turns into a horse toy. So we can cut out half that process if we launch a box into it. But launching a box into it, it works sometimes. So you just kind of have to go for it, and you have to push it just right against the railing, or else it flies in a completely different direction than you want it to. This is actually the second to last level. This is the last level before this game's one and only boss fight. So we are ready to go. So we have this grinder right here, and you're supposed to put 3 different kinds of items inside of it. You're supposed to put something made out of plastic, something made out of metal, and something made out of wood. So instead of grabbing the things one by one, we're just gonna take this cart and just use it to push everything over here, so we can just put everything in all at once. Because why take multiple? It's like when you do a grocery trip and you want to take things inside, but you don't want to take like multiple trips. You just do it all at once. Or dump everything in here. You also, there's only supposed to be one, for every item you put in, you're only supposed to get one thing out of it, but the items just kind of duplicate. So there's like 3 different explosive barrels down there. I don't know what thing we put in that causes explosive barrels to be made. It's a little bit concerning because we put in like a cart and then 2 chairs, and somehow we got an explosive barrel out of it, but you know, either way. So we're gonna continue going. So we're each of the corners of the map now, we need to go use one of these items that we got from it. So we're gonna put a 1,000 kilogram weight over here. And use that to unlock here, because Hazel can carry their tongue, because I don't know, this is a great video game. So we're gonna lock each of these doors on each side, and we're going to do the final one, which is to take a plank and bring it over here. The guy will be very kind enough to tell us that that is not OSHA compliant, which is true, probably. Not something we should do. Also, it like grows like 4 times its size, but he doesn't really notice that. The more important thing is OSHA violations. So we're gonna go over here, avoid those doctors, or not doctors anymore, the workers, by just going in straight lines and not trying to avoid them, and they just don't get in our way. And then we're gonna get to the final level of the game. We're gonna go to the boss fight coming up. But before the boss fight, the Professor Stockholm is going to, or Dr. Stockholm, sorry, is going to dive into the grinder for some reason and turn into a smaller version of himself. Don't know why he decides to do this. That seems like a terribly dangerous thing to do. But, you know, it's okay. It's fine. Alright, final boss fight. If you were trying to guess who the villain of this game is, and you said everybody except for Hazel, you'd be correct. Well, I guess it's Frida. The small child is the evil person, but also cosplaying as Mojo Jojo for some reason. But yeah, so the boss fight is pretty simple. You get the horse stuck against one of these support beams. But it gets stuck against that, and we'll break them. So once the 3rd support beam breaks, I will call for time. You do have to watch your health a little bit, because Buddy can randomly hit you sometimes and knock your health down pretty low. And also these turrets are almost guaranteed to do damage to you unless you actively try to avoid them, which it's much faster just to break them. Okay, so time's gonna be in a second here. And time. All right, so that is St. Hazel's Horsepital. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the lovely journey we've gone on together with this. I am running Yano and the Celestial Elephants on Monday. Kind of one of the last runs of the marathon, so there's a few donation incentives for that if you are curious about those, but definitely keep supporting ESA and supporting the marathon. And thank you very much for letting me show this wonderful gem of a video game off for the wonderful people out there.
Yeah, thanks very much, and GG's. I think we've got a final time of 23:20. This is an amazing game. I just kept laughing all the way through. It was so good. But no, thank you so much, Bullets, for that amazing run. Yeah, so we're gonna go to intermission, and we come back. We will have some loot box life. with S&W Bill. So see you guys very soon.